It is a pleasure. It is an honor to be sitting here across from Dakota George. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, man. Thanks for inviting me.
Got some sweaty palms there.
I get nervous.
Is that a thing?
No, I'm not nervous. My hands actually just get super.
Is that
super
hand
sweaty.
sanitizer or something?
No, it's sweat.
Hey, we're like in the middle of an interview, Bri.
Hi, Brian.
We're literally in the middle of an interview. Of course we started.
Yo, Jolie, are we rolling?
We already spent like 4 hours on your show.
Wow, I'm so sorry. She takes a lot of time. All right, we're gonna have to cut now.
No, we're not cutting. No, we don't cut. No, we got it. No, this is
we'll do it
authentic.
live. We'll do it live.
This is authentic. We stay in the real. Okay.
So good.
Dakota, I'm sorry for that just massive interruption.
No, I loved it.
I did too. I'll be honest.
I always love comedy bits like that. Like where just for some reason the filming goes wrong.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny. That's something. I think it was Nick and I were talking about this earlier. The idea of when something weird happens, you want to cover it up a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we were just making fun of Brian for trying to like re-record something. You know, and it's like no, like don't cover it up. Just lean into it and just keep paying attention to it and paying attention to it, and eventually it becomes funny.
Oh yeah.
And like that's the core of improv and a core of a lot of comedies that are out there. Is you just find the weird and you play it. Are you like massaging your hair while I talk?
No, I'm sorry. My hair gets in the way a little bit, and I'm like,
are you even listening to me?
what did you say?
What happened?
Who are you?
Beautiful hair, by the way.
Thanks, man. You
What
too.
do you use?
L'Oreal, because I'm worth it.
Nice. How often?
Every day I try to.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Weird.
No, Joey does. Joey's behind the camera. He does too.
That's not that weird. People
No,
say it's
he's
bad
saying
for
it's
you.
weird because people do say it's bad for you. I hardly ever wash my hair. Like, dude, didn't wash it today. Didn't wash it yesterday. I can't remember the last time. Probably been a week. For real.
I think I have such a disdain towards that because my hair is super greasy. Like
Okay.
if I go like a day without washing it and I run my hands through my hair, it's just like grease and I'm like, okay, and so I have to go wash it like every day.
Got it. And
So.
you like putting your hands through your hair, obviously. It's something.
Well, I just see it right here and I'm like, I need to cut this. Like
Or
bad.
maybe you're just drawing off the sweaty palms secretly. Could be
Yeah,
just like, hey,
totally.
You know, this is weird. Like it got off to a really weird start.
I love it so much.
It's like I'm
Oh,
trained
God.
to pay attention to the weird, you know, and then play that thing.
Yeah.
Like that's a thing that I do often. So, all right. So tell me a little bit about you outside the studio.
So I work at a pharmacy. I work at it's called a 503B facility.
Yeah.
It's like basically where we do a lot of compounding in-house and like make our drugs and then send it off to people. We're an outsourcing facility basically. And what I do there is I am an operations support technician. So I basically help a technician clean the lab, specifically on our tabletteering lab. I help him clean the lab. Thirsty?
Yeah. I'm just
Okay. No, you're good. I just want to make sure you're good. You're
very
sucking down the
interesting.
water.
Very interesting stuff.
Yeah.
About the it was a chemistry lab, right?
Compounding lab for pharmaceuticals. Yeah. So basically, what we do is I'm gonna have some of that too.
So good.
Yeah, so good.
So you're in the chemistry lab, and you're playing with.
Yeah. So I'm helping him. I'm cleaning a lab basically.
Okay.
And then I'm helping him run a machine that's capable of putting out like 30,000 tablets an hour. So. Yeah.
Got it.
So and usually the speed on that varies, but basically we get all the drugs together.
Can you speed it up and slow it down?
Yeah. On one of our drugs.
I'm just like envisioning a cartoon where you like turn up the knob and all the pills.
Basically, like you see the machine in front and like where they come out and it's spinning like crazy, and so then just one of us goes behind it and starts spinning a dial really quick and it's just going. So basically he compounds it and then we put it in a mixer, then we come back and we load up the machine, put it together, and then we start running it, and then we go measure it out. Then we have two other op support technicians that bottle it, and then put cotton in there and.
But let's be honest. I mean, you know, so you're making it sound. It's obviously technical, but it's an important job.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there are people who need medicine and need these great technological advances to help them enhance their lives and to save lives and whatnot. So, and it's weird to say this, but I believe that every job can be super important if you just find that little why behind it.
Yeah.
And whether or not it's your dream job where you're at right this second, like you can find a way to make it very important for you, right?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, that's cool. All right, so what motivates you? Tell me about maybe a value that stands out.
A value to me is definitely just being kind to people and giving back. I try to give back as much as I can, especially lately with charities. I've been donating to a friend of mine recently. Some of her family, their apartment caught fire, and so they set up a GoFundMe to like, hey, can you kind of like help us get along a little bit? And so I've been trying to put a good amount of money in that, where I'm not going over, because I also have student loans and I have to pay for gas every week, and I just want to make sure that I'm not going over and putting myself in a really deep hole. As much as I want to give back, I'm like, I just need to save up my money, because got so much money in savings. So,
well, let me tell you something. I mean, here's the deal. I'm going to interrupt you and just tell you what a great guy you are. I mean, pay your loans. Get on that. But it's the guy that gives what he has is much more valuable than somebody who gives, if someone gives $100 but they have 1,000, it's not as valuable as a person that gives $1 and they only had $1.
yeah.
I mean, that's really, I respect that quite a bit.
Yeah. And I try to do that too. I try to cut it just pretty close, like as much as I can, to like a couple dollars, but sometimes I'm like, I just need to put something in my savings right now, and then just give what I can for a little bit, and then just kind of help myself. So
have you been through any kind of a wealth school yet?
A wealth school?
Yeah, like how to
I haven't heard of that up until you said it.
Not a lot of people have. It's important. So what's interesting is you do need to give. It's like super important. But you got to make sure you pay you first.
Yeah.
You heard that before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard it from you a little bit.
Yeah. There's the buckets, right? So you want to put it in your savings, and then you want to in your giving, and then you have to get your bills, and then and then at the end of the day, it's like, okay, my Netflix account, that's
I don't need.
It's last on the list, right? Yeah. Sometimes I don't have room for that, but you've always got room for the savings account,
Yes, and that's the thing, is I've definitely neglected it a little bit. So I'm like, something needs to go in here just in case it's an emergency, something or other, where I could be like, okay, cool, transfer the money from here to here, just do that, and then I have more money.
Yeah.
And I'm able to sustain whatever emergency that was.
Sure.
So it's just now trying to just a mad juggling act, and I don't know how to juggle kind of a thing, and trying to figure it all out.
Yeah.
So
good. Well, you're on your way. And giving, the thing is, people attract what they put out there. So the fact that you're generous in that way, you will receive it back in extraordinary measures in ways that you wouldn't imagine. And sometimes you give in one way and you get back in love, and not even from the people you gave to. It's like comes from another channel, And so that's just the law of life. So you're on the right track.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
And I've heard that a lot of people sometimes are like, oh, I kind of do this, and then good karma will come my way. And I'm like, I don't care about good karma.
It's not about that.
Yeah, I want to do this because I want to help you.
That's right.
I literally don't want you to give me anything back. I'm doing this because I'm like, just let me help you, and then help you, and then just like I don't even expect a thanks or like a high five or anything. I'm just like, cool, man, as long as you're good at the end of the day.
You can't expect anything
Exactly.
back. Yeah. If you do, you don't get it.
Exactly, yeah.
It's like, or if you're going for the joke,
want.
you're going for the laugh, so you're expecting something and you don't get it. Yeah.
Can't do that, man.
It's
Can't
deep,
expect
bro.
it.
It's deep.
It's so deep.
So tell me, what brought you to Deering Studio?
A whim. Honestly, I one day was, because I wanted to get into acting, definitely, and I just Googled first I should preface this, I looked up like, oh, what an agent needs, and it's like, you should probably do acting classes, and I watch a bunch of voice actors too, and they play Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm a nerd, and I like that, and they're all really good at it.
Wait, you play Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah.
I didn't see that on your sheet here.
Oh, sorry, I
like,
missed that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, yeah, it's fun. It's a good thing.
When did you play last? Like last night?
No, Probably a week or two ago.
What level are you?
I was just playing like just for a friend, like
But
their character.
Yeah, but I mean, what level are you? Like, what are you like a
Like
17?
I have a character that I play in a campaign that I'm running with some friends that they've never played. So it's fun doing that for them too. And
Like you teach them how to do it.
yeah, like getting them into it, and then I'm the dungeon master of it, so I'm the DM, so I can control the world and all what's going on and like all the events and stuff like that. And I have a level 5 cleric, so he's cool.
Level 5 cleric.
So
What's a cleric?
so basically like just the healer of the party, more or less. So
okay.
like yeah, they don't really have like everyone can't really heal themselves unless they have like a health potion. So the healer can use magic and just heal someone. So
you're like a medic.
basically.
Everybody else goes into war and they're like, medic!
Yep,
But they go,
basically.
cleric!
Exactly. That is exactly what it is. So, but it's fun. It's cool. Long form improv.
You know what's funny? I think Dungeons and Dragons, because it's foreign to people. You know, it can become like a joke or whatnot. But I love strategy board games, and you know, and then you realize I'm only 2 steps away from Dungeons and Dragons. Really, it's just
Exactly.
It's just I've never tried it, so I have no idea how much fun it is.
Dude, it's so much fun.
But don't you think like it's sort of like one of those things, like it gets like this, at least it used to anyway, it gets like this, like Dungeons and Dragons, you're like, oh, you're one of those guys.
Dude, it's coming back.
Is
Like
it?
I totally understand what you mean, but it's coming back in like such a more positive way.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, like because it's like, oh, you're a nerd or blah blah blah, or I'm gonna shove you in a locker, blah blah blah, like loser kind of a thing. And now it's like, oh, you play Dungeons and Dragons, that's really cool.
Well, you know what happened? Nerds took over the world.
Yeah,
That's what
I
happened.
love it.
Yeah, it was like, you know, all the nerds who were not cool just kept studying and learning computers.
Yeah,
And now all the cool kids are working for the nerds.
exactly.
And the nerds are like, well, we get to tell you what's cool, and Dungeons and Dragons is cool.
Heck yeah, man.
Period.
Dungeons and Dragons is cool,
Dungeons and Dragons. You heard it here first.
but it's fun. And honestly, as an actor too, which the show I watch for with all the voice actors is called Critical Role.
Okay.
And they're all like pretty well-known voice actors. Like they've all done animation work, like video game work, commercial work. Like they're pretty well set, and they just love playing it. And honestly, like they taught me kind of too how to like appreciate it as long-form improv, and like how to build a character and build a person, and like kind of what that person values is, and like spending time with that character when it's just you in a room. And it's so interesting because you're able to like what I do for it is like if I want to make like a character, I ask a character that question, and then I just kind of get in that mindset, and like the first thing that comes to mind, it's like, oh, it's this. And that's kind of like something about them, if that makes sense.
I just realized I play Dungeons and Dragons every day of my life, and
It
I just
is-
didn't know it.
It is this far away.
That's what I do all day, every day.
Dude, and that's
Okay.
how you do like build such like a deep character, and that's what they do.
Mind
and it's
blown.
so interesting. Yeah.
Okay, now it's like a bucket list thing.
You're welcome,
all right.
man. Dude,
So
it's
how
fun.
how has your everyday life? Are you thirsty, by the way? You want?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll take some.
Okay. Here.
Awesome. Thanks.
You're welcome. How has your everyday life been impacted by the studio and your work here?
Honestly, man, it's helped me so much. I've begun to keep myself more accountable for things, and like I've been able to put in more hard work when I need to. Like if I'm doing something or trying to further a skill like acting, I know, okay, here's how to really go like 100% rather than just being like, okay, like kind of
Yeah.
mail it in and then be like, yeah, I worked on it, kind of a thing. Like when I'm trying to do at least 15 minutes a night, 15 minutes to a half hour. And then if I need to go longer, I go longer. And honestly,
So
that's helped
how
me.
has that idea impacted you outside of here? Has it yet?
Yeah, it's just holding myself better to habits and developing better habits and just learning like, hey, that's kind of a negative thing. And like it's helped my thought process or mindset a lot.
Yeah.
And it's helped me with my confidence too a lot.
Good.
Like going from zero confidence at all to like a good bit of confidence is like, oh, this is weird. I like it. So it's cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, I have this belief. I was literally just talking to Joey about this up top, where, you know, my thing is stay present,
That too.
right? Stay connected, stay stay here. And he had this moment where he was like, hey, I figured this out, you know, like this is cool about the editing, you know. And I just blew up at him as far as the positivity, because here's the deal. You know, he's here doing a job, right? There's a job he's doing, which is the technical side of this thing. And he's done it many times before. And I've told him, you know, stay present and look for, like, it doesn't matter. Look for ways to get better.
Yeah,
always,
definitely.
right? And so I noticed that he's doing his job and then found a way to get better. That's what I celebrated, you know.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter for me. I'm like, dude, that's good for you, you know. So you take your job or any job and you go, okay, I'm doing this thing. It can be monotonous if I let it.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can stay present and look for the ways to grow, look for the ways to get better myself and better this company, and like really contribute for the time that I'm here, you know. And whether that be for 10 more years or 1 more year or whatever it ends up being, it's like I'm gonna make my impact every day in the place that I'm at. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with my friends, the same thing with my mom, you know?
Yeah, and you said being present too, and that's one thing that also helped me. I've especially this last year, I was just in my head a lot of the time. Like if someone's talking, I'm like listening, but like kind of like in the back of my head thinking about other stuff and doing whatever. So now I'm just fully engaged in someone now, and that's really cool. Like I'm able to like pick up on things.
And they can feel it. I mean, people then want to talk to you because they know you actually care.
Yeah, definitely.
I told my wife this, and I got in trouble for it. I was like, I want to have a better marriage, and she's like, you don't think our marriage is good? I think our marriage is great. I think it's like the best marriage I know of.
What do you mean?
But I think it could be better. And she's like, how can it be better? And I'm like, I don't know yet. Mm-hmm. But I wanna find out. Oh, yeah. You know, that's my thing, is like, let's get better, you know.
Yeah.
And then specifically when it comes to marriage, what I found a really good why, and that drives me and drives her now. And I'm like, here's the thing, babe. We have a responsibility to have a killer marriage, because marriage has gotten a bad rap. Mm-hmm. So we need to be a demonstration for the world of what a good, solid marriage can look like, and how people don't need to be afraid of it the same way they don't need to be afraid of something else, you know?
Yeah, definitely. That's
so I'm
really
like,
good,
we are held accountable for having a good marriage. And she's like, dang, that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, that is, man. Good for you.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, man.
I feel like I'm getting interviewed myself here.
You're welcome.
Makes me thirsty.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's getting a little well.
Thank you.
Oh, perfect. So good. Oh, you missed some. There's a little bit right there.
You can have it.
Do you mean it?
Yeah, I don't want it. It would be selfish of me to drink the whole thing.
All right.
So in one word, how would you
That
describe?
water is really good. We were talking earlier that the water's really, really good. It is.
It is good. It is good.
Yeah.
There's something about interview water.
Yeah.
It's like the same water, but when we're interviewing, it's like the presentation of the whole thing. I feel like it makes it taste better.
No, it does. Definitely.
Yeah. Anyway.
No, I agree.
In one word, how would you describe the Deering Acting Studio?
Love.
Why is that?
You guys are such a loving community and a loving group of people, honestly. And like, it's also described my experience too, because like I've learned too that, because we all talk about every now and again like what's your why, like your deep down your why or your core. And I found mine, I'm still exploring a little bit, but I think I found it to be love. And that I kind of love everything and everyone. And you guys really showed me that, and just, there's so much love here for everyone. And I don't ever feel like anyone's like ostracized or put out or like swept aside or anything like that. Like you guys take the time to love and care for every single person that comes through here, whether it be on the phone, whether it be just someone coming in to just see kind of what's going on, or whether like it's just a person coming in for their first month of classes and they're just kind of like, I want to maybe try it. Like I know my coworker, she came in for a month and she loved it, and she always asked like, oh, did you go to the studio? Like, how are they doing? So
That's cool. Thank you. That means a whole lot. Our values, I was telling actually Nick earlier, our values, passion, love, mastery, there's a reason that love's in the middle.
Yeah.
Because love's the center of everything we do. It's every decision, love. And it's a choice. It actually is a choice every day. It's hard. It's like not easy to choose love. You know, I mean, you get, people can backstab you, people can this or that, there's this industry, there's all kinds of things, and you can choose love every time. You know, I've told Shay this a couple times where she might get like a particular email from somebody and it may be industry related or something, and she's like, and I was like, here's the thing, we can look at it one way and we can be offended, or we can look at it the other way and we can grow from it. And we can be like, hey, maybe the way they delivered it could have been better, could have been nicer.
Oh, yeah.
But if there's anything we can learn from this critique, let's take that. And let's pretend that they did it because they loved us and they wanted us to grow.
Oh, yeah.
And then anybody who's throwing hate our way, we just transmute it into love. And it's like...
And not only that too, but maybe you just think about the external factors to try and justify it a little more.
Yeah.
Justify it a little more. Like, okay, maybe they're busy and they have to do something right now and they don't have enough time to really send a good email, so they're just cut and dry, quick to the point. Maybe something bad happened in their life and you don't really know the full story of what's going on in someone's life, so you just kind of have to take what it is and be like, just be kind and give back, you know?
I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
It's so funny because and it's bad because it makes people feel bad, and it's not my reason. But if someone, say, cuts you off on the road, or they're super like angry or something, and someone wants to complain to me about them, that's always my response. Is I'm like, hey, you know, they might have lost somebody today.
Or they might be in the process of losing someone and they gotta go somewhere.
Yeah, and choosing to love that person is never going to be a bad idea. And then, you know, whoever it is that's mad is always like, well, now I feel bad. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. Like,
I was gonna say,
but you can make that choice. Like, it really is a choice.
And the thing is don't be mad for feeling a specific way, because that's your response to it. Like, I know when people cut me off or someone does something stupid in traffic, I'm upset for a little bit. I'm like, man, screw that guy, F that guy. I'm like, well, what the heck, man? But I'm just like, it happened. I can't change it in any way. I'm sure they had a reason for doing that. I hope it's a good reason. Maybe it is. Hopefully it is.
Maybe
I'd
it's
like
not.
to think it is. So I'm just like, I'll probably never see that person again in my life. So I'm like, okay.
So don't carry their stuff.
Exactly. I'm like, all right, man. Well, I tell myself every day now, I'm starting to do this where I just wake up and I'm like, yep, today's going to be a good day. Like, I could feel it. Like, just from sometime between my get up and I go to the house, like leave for work, I'm like, it's going to be a good day today. Yep. Even
That's
if
awesome.
someone cuts me off in traffic, I'm like, nah, it's still going to be a good day.
Last question. What advice would you have for anybody looking to get into this, get involved?
Do it. Just do it. You deserve it 100% if you want to do it. If you want to act, just do it. Don't think about it. Don't think about any judgment. Don't think about if your past is going to catch up to you. Like, because in the moment, you're going to deal with it then. But if you really want to do this, then do it. I know when I first started doing this, I really just was into it, and just the thought of everything, and doing specifically voiceover too, like doing commercials that a coach had set up for me, and like just like sending him stuff and looking up scripts for things. Like, I had such like a weird feeling inside of me, and then I was like, okay, this is really good. Like, I love this feeling. And I watched Denzel Washington do I can't remember what college, I want to say it's Bennett College.
His speech?
Yeah, a speech that he made, and where he starts off, if you want to do things that I've done, then fail big, or something to that effect.
Yeah.
And he said that feeling that you have when you do that thing that you want to do, whether it be whatever, that feeling that you have, that like weird feeling that you have in there. And I'm not sure necessarily about my spirituality
It's
or
God.
religion right
It's
now.
God. He's right.
Yeah,
He's right.
He said that is God telling you that you can have it and that you can do this.
And here's the deal.
and that it's
I
yours to
understand
have.
right now that me saying this is controversial because of the world we live in.
Yeah.
But that is God. You
Yeah.
know, and people are afraid to say that right now, but I'm not, because I know it to be true, and I want to share that with the world. Like it is a spiritual thing, and Denzel's tapped into it. Some other people have tapped into it, and when you feel it, and you know it to be true, you want to stand on a stage like he did, and you want to share that with the world, because it's like, I would be too selfish not to, you know.
Yeah.
And for me to be scared to say that out loud it's like it's not okay, you know.
Yeah.
Like you want people to be able to feel that thing, so don't be afraid of it.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't have to label it. I'm not telling you to label it. I'm just telling you there's something out of this world about unconditional love. Something that is not of this world. You know?
Yeah, definitely, and just how everything lined up too, because
It's not an accident.
I know what got me into it was actually another video by Peter Dinklage where he was doing another college one, and he was saying at 29 was when I started acting, and I was at a job that I hated for 7 years, and basically just do it, just get in there, start doing it, don't worry about it, trust me, the rhythm sets in, everything will fall into place, kind of a thing, and be kind to everyone and just go do a great job.
Yeah.
And there's obviously a lot more to that, but that, because I was kind of doubting, like, do I really want to do acting at first? And that video just kind of, and on a whim, like I said, that video was just kind of like there, and I'm like, okay, cool, kind to do that. And then I like started getting into it more, and I started getting like more and more passionate about it, and that feeling came, and then I saw the Denzel Washington, I'm like, yep, okay, sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, it was interesting.
All right. Well, this was a pleasure. Would you like a drink of water before we wrap up? I'm thirsty myself.
Yeah, sure.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we're supposed to use these.
No, that's prop.
Oh.